So Tony, tell me a little bit about what civilians can do to help emergency responders.
Yep. So when people call, there's a single number that they call for storm and flood response around Australia. That's 132500. That'll be answered by an operator, so it's not a recorded voice. And the operator will try and get as much information from the person making the call as they can to allow us to prioritise. So when we get hundreds of calls after a single event, we can't get to everybody immediately.
Right.
And so based on the information that the homeowner or the person who is reporting the damage, based on the information they give, is based on the priority system we'll put in place. So if people could be really accurate about what the damage is, don't overstate it. They could be really accurate about where it is, and what might be a local name to them might not be in a street directory for us. So they could be quite precise about what that damage is, and then we'll get out and it could be when we arrive that we ask the homeowner or whoever it is that's reported the incident to give us a hand to do something or other.
Oh, great! Yep.
We do get a number of calls through any significant event that probably don't really need our services. So we do spend a bit of time having our crews respond to work that really could be done by the homeowner. So,
right. Can you give me an example of that?
Very easily. There was a tree that was crossing a footpath in somebody's backyard. This footpath led to the clothesline and nowhere else, and the tree was probably about 75 to 100 millimetres in diameter. So it was very small. It wasn't posing any risk. It had actually fallen right over. It wasn't at a lean. It was resting on the ground, and the only imposition was the homeowner couldn't get to their clothesline. Well, frankly, that took time for our crews to go out. Right. Our crews very politely told the homeowner that they're going to reprioritise that call, and they got out there eventually. But it's just if people could think of others and not just themselves. And we do want accurate information. We don't want people to understate what their problem is. Right. But by the same token, don't tell us it's a significant event if it really isn't.
Right. No, completely agreed. And in the event of an actual emergency, I'm sure you get lots of folks that are interested in coming out to help or volunteering. What do you recommend for those people?
Look, we do have some difficulties sometimes with what we call spontaneous volunteers. People who, when an event happens, make themselves available. For a start, we don't know what their skill level is. We don't know what their background is and what their training is. And so very often we can't use people, even though their intentions are sound and we applaud the intentions. There are occasions where we won't be able to use people. There are obviously occasions where we can, where the work that needs to be done doesn't require a particular skill. It just requires some coordination and leadership. So we can provide that level, the coordination and leadership level, and we can have people do things like fill sandbags or shovel dirt or just move things out of the way. Right. So we certainly do encourage people to offer their assistance, and Volunteering ACT is a coordinating body here in the ACT for what we call spontaneous volunteers. Right. So if people could call them, they will take the record of the name and contact details of that person. They'll pass it on to us, and then we'll determine how we can best use them.